saw McGraw being pretty active training on the side. How's he doing coming back?
He's back in training next week. We're really pleased with how he's progressed over the last 7 days. It was 7 days ago. We were getting a little bit frustrated, and so too was Zach. But I think he's took a big step forward over the last 7 days. He's hopefully back in training on full training on Monday. We're trying to push for maybe to get some minutes in the T2 game next Friday against Minnesota, which would be great coming into this period to get him back.
There's 3 games in 6 days coming up. How early do you plan those rotation patterns for the game on Wednesday and Saturday?
Focus is on Sunday. I've got to say, yes, with the extra, with the day less to recover. There's considerations for rotation, but I always think that at this stage of the season, everybody wants to play in every game. I'd say that maybe the rotations are going to come during the game rather than at the start of the game. We've got to pick up points. The West is really tight. We've got players that are really fresh. We will have to utilise the whole squad throughout the week. Diego's going to have to have a big week for us. Paredes is going to have to have a big week for us. Omir Fernandez is now obviously back in training, and so I think the utilising the full squad during the week will be vital.
You've talked a few times about how you scouted Santi when you were at Miami as well, and about this time last year you said it would be a big bid for him in the next 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
How have you seen him improve since you've come to this club and specifically this season?
Well, I think he's maturing. There's still elements of immaturity like we saw a couple of weeks ago, but more consistency to his behaviours off the pitch, more consistency to his behaviours on the pitch means that we're getting better performance levels, and without a shadow of a doubt, there are teams that like him away from this country. But we're really pleased from him. We want him to be a big part of our future. He's a big part of the success, and now I think when we're coming into this stretch, what I've said to the group of players that are really ambitious is that now's the time when you've got to score goals, you've got to assist, you've got to produce top level performances, and that's what the team and that's what I am demanding from them.
Moving on to just this game in particular, a couple weeks ago when you guys went to Toronto, you spoke about how they were a desperate team needing to get points, and St. Louis find themselves in a similar situation. So, what are the lessons that you learned from that Toronto game and are bringing specifically to this St. Louis game against an opponent that's probably going to have a similar mentality?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have the similar mentality, is that their season is brinkering on either catapulting forward or being over because they're running out of games to get into the playoffs. So they're at home. They've got a really good fan base. The atmosphere is always good there. They're going to see this as vital 3 points for them. And I think the big lesson from the Toronto game, like we learn every single week, there's no easy game in this league. You can look at form, you can look at consistencies, you can look at whatever you want to look at, but every game you've got to be at your absolute best. And if we're not, we'll not get the right result.
Okay.
I thought it was going to fall on my head, that's it.
No, I got it.
All right, and then just one more specifically with St. Louis. Since they came into the league, they've been a pretty high-pressing team, very good at providing pressure through that midfield. This year, they've kind of dovetailed away from that in a little bit. Just what are you foreseeing in terms of just the midfield battle and just being able to play out from the back?
Well, I think with with David obviously as the interim coach, I think they've gone back to what probably made St. Louis a really major threat in the West when they won. They won a lot of games under Bradley Carnell, and I think they've gone closer back to that style. I think that's something that they were really keen on, or that's something that they really spoke about when David took over. I think even though the results probably haven't gone as well as he would have liked, I think his style of play is really good, and they're intense. They've got a front five that they score goals in every single game, not just one goal. They are prolific scorers. They score 2, they score 3 goals. They come from behind. So what we've said to the team is that this is a team that scores goals, and we've got to be at our absolute best, or we will get embarrassed, or we will lose the game, and we cannot afford many more losses, because the teams that below us will all be looking at our results and saying, well, how can we get closer to Portland? And we've just got to keep the gap growing bigger and bigger.
And then just one more, that left back positional battle between Ian Smith and Jimmer Forey. Just how has that progressed this week?
I mean, I think Ian Smith performed probably one of our top 2-3 players in the game last week. We've got incredible trust in him. I think the wing-back position suited him last week. Jimmer is obviously back from suspension. It's the one thing he needs to improve on. Eight yellow cards in 16, 17 games is for me is not good enough. So that's one thing we've been speaking to him about. And now Jimmer knows he's in a real competition to get a starting position. And I'll make that decision closer to the game on Sunday.
Thanks, Phil.